Hi everybody, I'm Sinead Kennedy. Welcome to my Yoga for Cyclists class. As an avid cyclist, I know all about really tight hips and very tight hamstrings. Not just for cyclists, because those of us that sit down all day as well, perhaps at a computer or in a car, are also suffering from the same forward posture and the same hip problems and the same hamstring problems. So this class is really brilliant for on your down day. So maybe not a day where you're after been cycling a lot, or the day before you're going to do a really big cycle. I would say to do this midweek on a down day as more of just a general body work, looking after your body and trying to improve flexibility. Okay, so remember, it's not just about jumping on your bike and being strong on the bike, it's about having your body working as a total. Remember, cycling is very repetitive. We're generally in the one position. So our body was built to move multi-directionally, and that's what we really need to get doing on our days off, is all that multi-directional movement. So let's get started. Take your time, go at your own pace. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you'll be kept in touch with lots of new classes that I have coming soon for you. So for this class today, I would strongly recommend that you use some yoga blocks. You can buy these really cheaply anywhere, leisure shops for instance. Sometimes even the larger supermarkets have them. They're really quite cheap. Failing that, get online. These are usually, I spend about €2 to €3 per block, so really don't need to spend any more than that. Take one of your blocks. If you're very tight in your hips, you might want to sit up on 2 blocks. We're going to start off with the legs crossed, and we're just going to very gently just literally start to rock the boat. Now if you want to, you can take the hands and give the knees a little extra help. If you need your hands as a support, you can do that. So just waking up into the groins. And again, it's really important that you show caution. If you've had any sort of surgeries, if anything's not working for you, please be mindful of your body. So we'll just do a few of those. Then we're going to take the soles of the feet together. Now again, just depending on your own body, your knees might be up here. Some of your knees are going to be touching the floor. My hips, not too bad today, but could be better. So I'm just going to take the soles of the feet, draw them in as close to myself as I can. Take my hands and use them as a little bit of scaffolding. And then when you're ready, I'm just going to use the strength of my legs to help to open out the groins. So just go easy, especially if you have any sort of hernias, any sort of surgery in around that area. And I'm just using my exhale, so it's push the air out as I push the knees down. So just being really nice with them and just listening to my hips. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the soles of the feet, we're going to push them in as if you're trying to sandwich or glue your feet together. And again, using just the strength of our legs, push them down. Try and sit up nice and straight, lengthening. Try not to look at your feet, because again, you're just cranking your neck and bringing in poor posture. Rather better to sit up nice and straight, lengthen. You can always put a mirror in front of you if you want to see what your body is doing, rather than trying to crank the neck. So just a few of those, just wakening up the hips. Go easy here. Alrighty, so after we've done a few there, okay, press down, just hold it. Focus on your breathing. Nice big inhale. And a nice big exhale. Inhale once again. And exhale. I'm just pushing the feet together and just gently guiding the knees down towards the floor. Now, if your thighs are very, very tight, again, go easy here. We never ever want to shock the body, tear, or do ourselves an injury. So let's just take the legs out and just give them a nice little sway. That's it. And then when you're ready, we're going to take the 2 legs over to one side. Okay, so with my legs pointing over towards the right, I'm going to focus on my right hip and groin. I'm going to take the right knee, gently press it down into the floor, and I'm going to tuck under with the right hip, so you can see a lengthening coming in here into the quad, into sartorius, and in around the hip flexor. My hands out behind me are always nice and strong. We never want to collapse into the shoulders. Thrust through the pelvis and then back off. So I'm just going to gently back off. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, whoosh, literally whoosh the hip under. Just a lovely little tucking under position. Just wakening up and then back off. We're going to do that one more time. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, push the knee down, drive, and I'm using my glute and the hip to drive it forward, getting deep into the hip flexor. The hip flexor starts here in the back, comes through the belly and down into the groin. I'm going to keep the back hand nice and active, and I'm going to reach up with my other arm, with my right arm, lengthen and push the chest up. Hold it here. If you want to take that a little bit deeper, lift the hips. Push the hips forward and creating a really nice back bend here. Now that's very deep into the hip. Tuck under with the pelvis. Push forward with the hips. And slowly, gently does it. Just come and sit back down and release it. Okay, now again, you don't have to do the second options. You can just stay with the first option. So let's try it on the other side. So we're focusing on our left leg. Taking the left knee, push the left knee down into the floor, find the left hip and whoosh, literally give it a right good thrust up and outwards. So I'm driving it up towards the ceiling. Being mindful of my shoulders, again, we never collapse, chest is out, pelvis is nice and high, you're driving forwards and back off. Inhale, exhale, drive. Releasing it, inhale and exhale, drive it up. So just breathing nice and deeply. Take your right hand a little bit further behind you. Reach the left arm. So it's always the same leg, same arm. Reach up, chest up. And if you wish, lift the hips. So again, I'm driving with the two hips. Up and over an imaginary knife or cactus. Push through the chest, push forward with the hips, breathing nice and deeply. It's not a hang, it's a lovely back bend, deep into the groins, and slowly does it, gently release it. Well done, very nice. Okay, so just get the hips, we're just going to sway them side to side. You can do that when lying down if you prefer, or you can come down onto your elbows. So, there's no problem. You can change things up as much as you need to. It's your body. You need to be in charge of it. And it really is up to you how much or how little of these you do. So from here, we're going to pop over into a box position. Now, when we're in a box position, we always want to protect our wrists. So we're going to spread the hands. The index fingers are pointing north. Claw the mat like a little cat. We're going to push the arms deep so that we can feel those elbows locking out. I'm just going to turn a little bit sideways for you here. We're going to start off with our right leg. Tummy in nice and tight. Take the right leg out behind you. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, push the heel back. So really nice and deep. Go easy. Again, your Achilles might be very tight. Not much movement in the ankle on our bikes either. So again, very mindful. Back off, inhale. And exhale, just drive back again. Keep the tummy tight. Watch for the collapsing shoulders. Push the heel towards the floor. And then slowly release it. Now before we do the other side, just to give our shoulders a little break, take the groins out to the sides. So we're going to just sit back into our heels here, and I'm going to bring in a really nice spine twist and a shoulder at the same time. Now again, you can do as much or as little as this as you like. Take your right arm out onto a block. I'm going to try and stay up on the fingertips. If you need to, you can get rid of the block and have the hand flat on the floor. Reaching the left arm out to the side, take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to thread down and under. Now you may need a second block here for your head. If you don't, just come down onto the floor. When we're down on the floor, we're going to slide the right arm out overhead and holding it here. Pull the shoulder back towards the thighs. Sit back into your hips. Stay here. You're going to focus on your breathing. So nice big expansion as we inhale. And as you exhale, gently contract. I'm deep into the pec. Okay, so in around the chest, in around the shoulder. Fingers are reaching forward and the shoulder is pulling back towards the hip. Take another big inhale here. And as you exhale, slide the right hand back in, push back up, walk the knees in. We're going to do our calf on the other side. So we're going to do our left heel, left calf. So slide the left foot out behind you. You're on the ball of the foot. Tummy in nice and tight. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, push back. Watch for collapsing shoulders. Remember, arms are strong. My belly is connected. Take a big inhale. Exhale, push back. Last one here, nice big inhale. And exhale. Slowly releasing it. Pop ourselves forwards. Open out the knees once again into our groins. So this time we're going to be focused on our left pec. So remember, the arm is reaching forward, but the shoulder is tractioning back. Reach out through the right side, getting a really nice twist into the belly. So again, multi-directional for our spine. You're massaging out your tummy here. Get right down on top of that shoulder. Make sure you can speak and swallow comfortably. Take the arm out overhead. Pull the shoulder back, and we're right up on top of those fingertips. Now, if that's too much, as I said, you can get rid of the block. You can have the hand on the floor, or look, you could make a little prayer if you preferred. Okay, this is very nice for opening out the lats, pushing back into the hips. My feet are also getting a nice range of movement. And slowly does it. Slide the left hand back, pop yourselves back up, and take your time to walk those knees back in. All right, getting ready for our first downward dog. Claw the mat. Index fingers engaged especially. Elbows under. Elbows out means we can collapse. Elbows under are nice and strong. Tuck the toes under. Push the knees up and back. I'm just going to turn sideways for you. Now we're going to bend our knees and just have little pedals. Get the weight out of your arms. So you're always pushing back. Try and imagine that you're hiking your bottom right up towards the ceiling and have those little pedals going on. So just wake it up. Tummy is nice and engaged. Shoulders back. Elbows curling in. And then slowly does it push the two heels down. If your legs are very tight, you may want to bend your knees and focus on the back instead. Push the chest down and hike the bum up. Take your time. We're going to step forward with one foot. Doesn't matter which foot. Step forward with the other foot. Place the feet parallel. Hold it here. Grab your block. If you're very, very tight in your hamstrings, you may want to be a bit inventive and give yourself some extension leads. We're going to inhale, lift up, look up. Creating the letter L, and then gently does it melting down. So just from the side, we're going to inhale to look up. And exhale, melting down. I'm trying to keep my bottom forward over the ankles rather than behind. So move your blocks if you need to. And relax those toes. Hang here like a little rag doll. Interlace your elbows. Sway. And just let the head go. Relax your toes. Opening out the lower back. Focusing on our hamstrings, the back of the legs. And when you're ready, we're going to bend our knees. I'm going to get you to slide your hands in underneath your feet. Try and get right up to the wrist if you can. Bend your knees, get down if you need to. Hold it here. We're going to pull on our legs, guys, and just gently does it, trying to open out those legs. Now go easy. If you're very tight, this might be enough for you. Doesn't matter. Otherwise, we're here. We're pulling on the legs. Head is nice and relaxed. Shake it out. Breathing nice and deeply. Bend your knees. Reach your hands, just slide them out. Feet planted firmly into the ground. Drop your booty. Slide to the back of your saddle. Tuck your tail under. Reach it up into Utkatasana. So nice dynamic chair pose. Knees are parallel. Feet are parallel. Tail is under and my belly is drawing up. Take your time and float down. Inhale to look up. And exhale, float down. Bring the weight forward. Feel your bottom over your ankles. Your block is there if you need it. Use your tummy. We're going to stack up nice and slowly. All the way up into a really nice big stretch. And floating all the way down. Hands down onto the floor. Now we're going to step back on our right leg, all the way back, and hold it here. We're on the ball of the back foot. So just allow the hips a moment to open out, driving the legs deep into the sockets. Come up nice and high. Tuck the pelvis under, reaching the arms up and then floating down into our warrior. If that's too hard, put the back knee on the floor. You're still tucking under. If you have blood pressure issues or shoulder issues, keep the arms down. Same thing, just a nice big tuck under, back is protected and chest is lengthening. Front toes nice and relaxed. Holding it here on the ball of the back foot. We're going to find the right elbow. We're going to take the hands into a prayer, sandwich your fingers together, elbow to the outside of left knee, and I'm going to use my hands, sandwich them, press the elbow deep into the thigh, and it's going to spin you around to your left. Breathing deeply, front toes relaxed, back leg is strong. If not, just put it down on the floor. Creating a lovely spine twist here. We're also deep into the groins and the hips. Gently release it. We're going to take our left hand. Now here's where you might want to block. You can take your block beside your big toe, your left hand. Your left elbow is touching the knee. We're going to use it to spin us open all the way and looking up towards the ceiling. Roll the top shoulder away. Relax it. Drive your legs deep into the sockets, and I want you to imagine that you're a doll and you've lost your legs. So you're trying to push the legs deep into the hips. Use the elbow to spin you around and slowly releasing it down. Now, your front foot, we're going to move the front foot. We're going to go toe and then heel, bringing the elbow inside of the knee. Hold it here for just a moment. Your body needs a second just to get used to it. If you need to put the back knee down on the floor, there's really no problem. Okay, lizard pose. Keeping the hips nice and strong. Take a big inhale. Exhale, melting forwards, just that little bit. I'm going to turn sideways for you. So we're here. Hips are nice and square, ankle underneath the knee. Inhale to look up and exhale, melting down. Now I want you to keep the weight back over the pelvis. We want to avoid collapsing, okay? There's no point collapsing. Inhale to look up and exhale, float down. Now be careful here with your groins. Hips are staying square, the back is staying long. Each time I inhale, I'm lengthening and I'm just floating. I don't know if you can see that. My hands are just moving slightly forwards and I'm lengthening. Keep the weight back. The temptation is to come forward. Keep the weight back and slowly walk the hands back in. Now we're going to take this front leg and we're going to bring it in and underneath us like so. So I was here and then I'm going to bring the foot in and under. Walk the back leg in. If you need a block, you can pop a block underneath your left hip. Please make sure that your knee is happy. If your knee is not happy, you need to leave this one out, fast forward and go on to the other side. Keeping the hips nice and square. It's too high for me. We're going to take a big inhale. And as you exhale, lengthen forwards. Now, I'm pushing the weight back into the hips and I'm going to gently does it, melting down and getting the head down onto the floor. If you don't want to keep the head down, you can just sit up here. But just try and keep the head down for a little bit. You're inhaling to expand and exhaling to contract. So if you have the head down, you look like this. Arms out in front. Keep rolling into the left hip. You might find you're hanging into the right. Roll a little to the left. And slowly does it, push back up. And we're going to release this leg. Okay, so just come up, push out of it. Have a little walk around. Anything you want to, mooch around. And we're going to obviously do all of that on the other side. So feet parallel, hands active, push up and push back. So we're going to focus on our right leg. Step your right leg forwards and in between your hands. If it didn't arrive, just pull it or stand up and get there one way or the other. Check you're on the ball of the back foot. Coming up into warrior one. Arms straight up, shoulders down, tailbone pushing forward. Otherwise you're loading the back. If you feel an arch in your back, an excessive arch, focus on tucking under. Shoulders back, tummy in nice and tight. Breathing deeply, put the back knee down if you need to. The legs are driving up into their sockets. Left, we're going to take the hands, get your fingertips to touch, so again they're engaged. Elbow to the outside of the knee and spinning to open out. Breathing deeply. Keep the front knee over the ankle. Keep the front toes relaxed. You're on the ball of the back foot. And breathing. So just release it. Grab your block. So you can stand your block up this way, or no block at all. Elbow inside of the knee. Always on the fingertips to protect our wrist. Spinning open. Legs are strong. I always like to imagine that I'm a little starfish here and I'm just trying to stick myself on the window so you get that nice long line like a windmill. And release it. Front foot, we're going to move it. We're going to go toe and heel, getting ready for our lizard pose. Check you're on the ball of the back foot. Inhale to look up and exhale, we're going to melt down. Now once again we're keeping the weight on the back, over the hips, the knee and ankle stay still, I'm pushing the pelvis down. Exhale to float. And just melt into your lizard pose, guys. Remember, we never collapse. Watch for dippy heads. You want to be like a tortoise. Stick your head out of your shell. You want to see where you're going. And then when you're ready, we're going to back off, focusing on our right leg. Curl the right leg in and underneath you as best as you can. Walk the back leg in behind you. Now go easy on your knees. Like I said, leave this one out if it's too much for you. Just get comfy. That's it. Get the weight back over the hips. Okay, back leg out behind me. Pop a block in underneath you if you prefer. Sit up here if you're happy here. Okay, you don't need to do the rest. If you're okay to, we're going to bring it into full pigeon pose. We're going to float the head down. Arms are out in front in prayer. Forehead onto the floor. Now, when your forehead is on the floor, pull the shoulders back. If you notice that you're hanging to the right, just roll a little to your left and you're really going to wake up that right hip. So you keep your head down, just listen to me, just breathing deeply. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, take your time, push, lift the head back up, pop over onto your hip and release it. Okay, just give that leg or both your legs just a little pedal around. That's it. Well done. Okay, where we started our class, if you want, you can go back up onto your block. Let's have a little hip test, see if they feel any looser, any better. Push the soles of the feet together. Back is nice and straight. Breathing deeply. Now, if you can, hook onto your two big toes with your two fingers. So I've got my index finger and the one next to it. Hook on. Sit up nice and straight. Pretend you're on your saddle on your bike. Roll it back and finding our balance pose. So we want to engage to the pelvic floor here. So pelvic floors form a hammock underneath. So if you imagine, for the boys, if you imagine walking into the sea and the sea is cold or you have to cough for the doctor. Okay, ladies, if you imagine sort of drawing up a handbrake, it's literally that internal. So just roll it back, lift the chest, hold it here. If you're able to balance on a bike, hopefully you're able to balance here, pelvic floors are intact. And release it. Now we're going to try a little harder version of that. Take your block. Come and sit towards the front of your block. Please make sure there's nothing behind you in case you fall over that you're going to bang your head off of. If you don't feel like trying this one, don't bother. If you're very wide, you can turn your block that way. Okay, obviously if you have a bigger pelvis than me, or you can be this way. But just sitting towards the front of it, because we're going to need a little bit behind us. We're going to roll it back, hold it. You can see I'm shaking. Chest is up, pulling the heels in nice and close and allowing the heels. Now really grip into those pelvic floors. We're going to try and start to take the legs out. Okay, now again, guys, we all cycle. So we have our legs down, our back is long and straight, chest is up, breathing. Okay, so if you're able to throw yourself down off the side of a hill and hit 70-80 kilometers an hour on your bike, this really shouldn't be too much of a scare. Hold it. And then when you're ready, only if you feel up to it, we're going to take the legs out even further, chest up, hold it, breathing. Really try and engage to those pelvic floors. Take the legs as wide as your groins will allow. And then slowly does it, releasing it. Well done. Okay, so that's our Yoga for Cyclists class for today. I hope that you got something out of it. do the ones that you're able to do. If any of them aren't working for you, just leave them out. There's plenty of other videos that I have created. You can go back and watch them. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel now, because I will be making lots more Yoga for Cyclists videos, lots of nice videos for everybody else as well. We're going to be looking at shoulders, we're going to be looking at massage bowls, and I've had a request for ankles and wrists as well, which is actually really important. So make sure you're subscribed and you will get notified of those videos as soon as I have them ready for you. Have a great day and thanks for watching.